Hi and welcome back. So as I promised earlier, I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of my favourite topics to do with health, and that's fermented foods and drinks. By fermented, I don't mean pickled onions and various other pickles that you can buy in the supermarkets and stuff. I mean actually traditionally fermented foods. Like sauerkraut and kimchi, and then you have the drinks like kombucha and kefir and things, but there's a whole host of others, but they're traditionally prepared. They're not heated or pasteurized in any way, so they are full to the brim of nutrients, and also have tons and tons and tons of probiotics in them, more than just about anything else that you can think of. So because of this, they are incredibly healing for the body, and in particular the digestive system. So by healing, what I mean is that they help you absorb the nutrients from your foods, the foods that you consume them with, and also themselves. And they help you digest and process foods a lot easier as well. So even if you are going to be naughty and have some fish and chips, if you put some sauerkraut on the side, that will help you digest the fish and chips. It will help you feel less bloated, able to process the fish and chips more, and absorb any nutrients that are there as well. So the fermented foods are a real winner. And the other thing that's great, that for me anyway, I think, is that it means that you have less food waste, because you can make fermented foods out of most things in the kitchen. Some things you just need to tweak a little bit. But I'm going to just show you some of the basics today and some of my favourite ones. And if you have any questions or anything like that, then do feel free to drop me a line at www.faithcanter.com in the contact form there, or watch any of the other YouTube videos I have on fermenting in lots of different ways. Because if I taught you everything today, we'd be here for hours and hours and hours. So these are my favourites. So this one, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, but this is basically got grains that look like grains in it. This is water kefir. You can get a milk one as well. They're not interchangeable, so you can't use the milk one for water or the water one for milk. They're different type of grain. And this basically is made with sugar water. So you just make some sugar water up, and then you drain off the grains from the old batch. You drink what's left, and then you put the new grains in the cooled sugar water. And what happens is the grains grow, and as they grow they eat up the sugar. So the idea is that there will be no sugar left in it when you go to eat it, or drink it should I say. So if it tastes sweet, then there's probably too much sugar in it, and as you know, we probably want to be avoiding sugar these days. So if you have it a little bit sour, then you know you're probably on the right track. And that you can flavour them. You can make them strawberry flavoured. You can make a ginger beer out of it. You can make all sorts of fruit flavoured kombucha. You can kefir, sorry. You can make it fizzy, and that's called a second ferment. So once you've drained it off, you could put it in the fridge in an airtight bottle like this. And then you put some juice in, or some slices of fruit or something, and then leave it for about a day, and the pressure builds up as it eats the sugar from the fruit. And if you don't want to be leaving it any longer than a day, because you might get the top coming off at speed and making quite a mess. So as the pressure builds up, and after a day you release the gas, and it's fizzy. So it's like a bit of it's a healthy kind of champagne type drink. The other one is kombucha. Now kombucha, a lot of people would make it in the same sort of way as the kefir, but this is an actual continuous brew setup. And I don't know if you can see, but you can see the kombucha scoobies, or mothers that they're called as well, in there. So to do that, you need to get a Scooby or a mother off of hopefully a friend, or if not, online on Amazon and eBay and places like that. And then it comes with a little bit of sweet tea. So the difference between the kefir and the kombucha is the kefir you make with sugar water and the kombucha you make with sweet tea. I like to use a green tea, but you can use any tea you like. And again, you wait till it's cooled, and then you, for this with the continuous brew, then what you would do is drain off what you want for the week, say this. Always making sure that these taps are plastic and not metal, otherwise that will react with the kombucha. And then you pour in some sweet tea, cold sweet tea, and that feeds it until you want to drain some more off. So again, the same thing happens as it grows. It eats the sweet tea, so it's going to eat up all the tannins and the caffeine and the sugar from the tea. And with this one though, a new Scooby will grow on the surface each time. So when you'll end up getting loads of them like I have here, so you just give them away to friends or family, or you can compost them, or apparently chickens and things like them as well. So that's the difference between them two. You want to make sure that they're no closer together than these two as well, because sometimes you can get cross-contamination, and that can lead to you having to throw a batch out, or even the original grains and things. So one of the ones that most people have heard of with fermenting is sauerkraut. This sauerkraut looks slightly different to most people's, because I don't just make it with cabbage. I have added in carrots and ginger and a little bit of onion and some seaweed into this batch. And basically you just grate, or I use the grating function on a food processor, so it's even easier, all of those vegetables, and then you add a little bit of salt, so a good quality salt like a Himalayan salt, just like a teaspoon, and you mix it in so it covers the vegetables well. And then you can pound kombucha, which is a key. Oh, I keep getting muddled up with them all. You can pound sauerkraut, but that's really hard work. So what I do is I massage it, I squeeze it. I squeeze all the juice out. So basically you work your way through the whole batch in the bowl, squeezing the juice, so everything's squeezed. And then you put all the vegetables and the juice itself into the jar. And if the vegetables don't come above the juice, but if the juice doesn't come above the vegetables, then you just want to add a little bit more water and then weigh everything down so it's below the level of the juice, or the brine as they call it. And then you leave it for about a minimum of 5 days, but you can leave it for months and months and months. But you need to make sure that every day for the first week you burp the jar. So that means you just take the lid off slightly and let out the gas, otherwise you could end up with exploding jars. These Kilner jars are really good because you don't have to burp them, you just put them on very loosely so the gas can get out. And like I said, you can eat this after 5 days or after months. I like it strong, so I tend to leave it a bit longer. But once you start eating from it, put it in the fridge, and then it won't go mouldy and things and get cross-contaminated. But if you don't like standard, just cabbage sauerkraut, then you can add lots of other things like I have. And I always add seaweed to all of my fermented stuff because it's so mineral dense that it makes everything that you're adding it to even more nutrient dense for you. So that's a little tip from me anyway. And then here is what they call kimchi. And this is a Korean fermented dish. I make mine slightly different because I actually grate mine like I do with the sauerkraut. It just makes it easier, but traditionally it'd be cut into small chunks, about that much. And this has got red cabbage in, onions, spices, seaweed, radish, and ginger. So this is really spicy. Did I say it had chilies in it as well? If it didn't, then it's got chilies in it. So this is really spicy, and I love this. This goes so well on the side of just about anything, but it's really good as an accompaniment to hot food or cold food, or curries and things like that. You make it in exactly the same way as the sauerkraut, which is why I do them at the same time and things. And you make sure to burp it in the same way and do everything in exactly the same way. So that's a really easy thing to make. And then this time of year has just been just on the end of wild garlic season, so I go out to lots of the waterways here in Edinburgh and I collect the wild garlic, and then I process it down in the food processor, and I add basil and again some salt, and just blend, and loads of juice will start to come out of it then. And you just pop it in a jar, make sure the juice is above where the leaves are. And then this, I have got a batch that I'm still eating from last year. It keeps forever. And it's basically a wild garlic pesto, which has hardly cost anything to produce. There's tons of it, and it's highly probiotic and highly nutritious, and has been collected for, like I said, for next to nothing. So that's really easy. And then here's another one, which is basically a wild garlic kimchi. So made in a very similar way to the other kimchi, but this is made with wild garlic and spices and some onion and some, I think I put cumin seeds in this, and I might have put peppercorns in as well. So, you know, you just put into these things what you like. If you don't like something, don't add it. But I'm telling you, everything you eat it with is going to be more nutritious. It's going to help heal the body because it helps detox the digestive system, and it's going to help you with your energy, your immune system, your lymphatics, your digestive system, your mood, a whole host of things. It's like supercharging body and mind eating fermented foods and drinks regularly. I have one slight word of warning. If you have got an imbalance in the digestive system, only start with a tiny amount of any fermented food or drink. Otherwise you'll think you're intolerant or reactive to it, but actually what it's doing is exactly what it's meant to be doing, and it's detoxing you. And if you're out of balance, it's going to detox you quicker and sooner and more severely. So if you are finding that you're running off to the toilet, you've had too much, just have half as much next time, and then slowly build up. If you're having gurgling going on in the stomach, that's good. It means the good yeasts and probiotics and things are fighting the bad ones within the digestive system. So that's my only word of warning throughout the whole thing. I hope you found that informative. Like I said, if you have any questions, there's loads of videos about this on my YouTube channel and also on my blog at www.faithcanter.com, or you can ask questions through the website as well. Thanks for listening. Bye.